So I'm doing my little thing here. Buddy got a big old cut on his head. Buddy, what are you doing? Hey, hey, look at me. Look here so I can see your head. Is that big old cut on his head? I don't know what he's got, but now I gotta go doctor him after I'm done fixing this. So I don't know what happened. So anyway, I had a lot of different suggestions out there, and I guess I didn't clarify what was going on. So believe me, I've already taken this off, but what I haven't done to this, and I've cleaned this up a long time ago, and sprayed that stuff on it. So it's pretty clean. But I'm gonna go ahead and put some, since there's moisture in here, I'm gonna put some of this super lube. And this is synthetic silicone. It is the same thing as your dielectric grease. So it's just a white stuff. Buck's a big user of this on guns and different parts. It's basically, it says multi-purpose synthetic, but it's straight silicone grease. So if you look up dielectric grease for electricity, you're gonna get super lube. And I have that for a lot of my guns. So I'm gonna go ahead and got a Q-tip, and I'm gonna rub down all these contacts with a little of this super lube to make sure, even though I've cleaned them up and squirted them down, they look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I took this off, this old green one, because a lot of people, and I remember when I put this on, I was trying to be cheap, and I had one of these old ones, and I don't know how old it was. I was like, you know what? Looks like it'll work, and I put it in here. So I'm gonna spray this down with some brake cleaner like some people do and keep it as an extra. I had 2 or 3 of these brand new, and they're sitting in a box, and I go, I might as well put a new one in here. So I've already wired that up, silver to white, ground, and you're not supposed to point. This is hot, but I know what I'm doing. And that's just black, which is to gold. And so now that I have that in there, I'm gonna put a little some of that super lube on this, and then I always put black electrician's tape around it, so if somebody pulls this out, like I did when I pulled it out, if it is hot, it doesn't shock them. But I've got this special stuff on my finger, so it just tingles a little bit. It's not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I guess people were talking about pulling this off, and I have pulled this off. I just put the screw in here because this lid never fit real good, and I didn't have a screw there, so I put a screw in there. And so this is my box in here. I put some caulk to keep stuff from coming in there. It's still got holes in the back that I didn't caulk up. Put some caulk over here in this wire. People said this is a controller box. I guess those two things are, what do they call those things? A whole thing and shock out capacitors. And I sprayed all this down with that, I'll make sure that thing's good and grounded. And since I have it all open, I'll go ahead with the Q-tip, put some dielectric grease on those contacts, and then I should be good to go. Now, a lot of people said the light that I was going to put outside only showed that I was getting power, and that's kind of what I wanted, because this is supposed to come on at 40 degrees. And if this isn't coming on, then I know my lights aren't working. I put 2 lights in here in case one went out. Most people only have 1 light in here. So I put 2 in case one of those went out. However, I just ordered one of those little rodent things that you put in with your critters that need your reptiles. And it looks like a little bitty gas, or it looks like a little electric grill on your stove. And it's a light. And it's supposed to last longer. So I'm going to put one of those on one side and then a light on the other side. And then hopefully I should be good to go on this. And I don't think I'll have to do anything else before winter. So my light haven't come in yet, the little 2 lights. And a lot of people were saying just cut a hole and glue. If I cut a hole, I've got to go through this insulation. And this is a very tight controlled area. I mean, this is all the space I got. It's not like I can stand up in there and do a whole bunch, which is why I was just going to try and just put it straight through that back there. So we'll see what happens on that. And that way I'll know my light's on anyway. But you know what I was thinking of doing is making this a hot switch with a switch on and off. Put a switch on the outside, and that way I just turn it on, it stays on. The problem is it really doesn't get that cold that many days. We only get like maybe 6, 8, 10 days of below freezing. So normally it's not a big deal. With my insulation and everything, even if we got one night of freeze, it probably wouldn't do much. But this, ever since this last winter, since I was the only one around here that did not lose their pump and go without water, I only had this and I was getting short of electricity. So I think it's pretty well insulated. But you know what? We'll see how it works out. And see what those crazy horses are doing. I'll go doctor Buddy's forehead and I'll finish this. Hi again, people. I'll put it on a horsey channel too, because in case you're trying to heat up. So if you recognize this little light fixture here, this is what I pulled out of my water pump. So I want to know how much heat this is putting off and which bulb is putting off more heat. So I have these two bulbs on, and this is the curlicue bulb. I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn this off. So this is a little curlicue, and then this is like this bulb, but it's really dim, so I don't know if this is the same. It doesn't have a wattage on it, but I replaced some LEDs and I pulled these out. So I'm gonna take the temperature on these lights right here. So obviously if you take this bulb here, we got 82 degrees. The counter's 80. Counter over here is 78. The 10 is 90 degrees. Let me put that right side up. Rick, I can't read upside down. 88. And then we have this left bulb here, which is 125, 139. And then this bulb over here is 130, 135. And this one. So this one looks like it cools faster than this one. So I'm going to look at this one, which is I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe you guys can read that on this fancy. LED lamp. So this probably is going to put out a lot of heat. This is LED. I don't want to use that one. This one is a 60 watter. I think that's 60. Is that 60 or 80? Shit, I can't even make that one out. And this one, have no idea what it is. Looks like an old chandelier light. So I'm going to switch those two out. First, I'll turn these back on. And we're going to see what kind of heat we get here. That looks like 130. Man, that little sucker's bright. So we're getting 196, 137, 138. So it's heating up. This one, 115, 128 also, 133, 134. So even when it's on, looks like it's 135 degrees. And then that one is staying at what goes from 145. So those curly lamps put out some definitely good heat. Let me switch these bulbs out and see what else we got going on here. Okay, so we got those bulbs changed out. You don't want to see me handle that bulb and grab it with my bare hand. So even though it's not on, it's still 120 degrees, which is pretty warm to the touch. This one over here, 121 also. So they're still 120 degrees even though they're unplugged. These, before it's been turned on, 83 and 83, 82, 83. So let's see if these will heat up. Which one's going to put off more heat quicker? I didn't even put the LED in because I'm pretty sure it's not going to put out much heat, but I got to test that one anyway. Also, I cleaned these bulbs to make sure I got good heat reading. Wiped them off, sprayed a little Windex on a paper towel and wiped them off. So this one I didn't clean though, so we might get a little. All right, so next to it, looks like we're getting 80 degrees. On the light, looks like we're getting, it's heating up, 110. 115, let's see what this one's doing. Oh man, 220. Damn. That sucker's putting off some heat. 145. 148, 149. That bulb's definitely staying in. That's going to put out some good heat in there. 160. Shit. Go back to this long one here. Yeah, 117, 116. So that's a no-go. This one right here looks like the 40 or 60 watt, whatever that is. That sucker looks like it's putting out some freaking heat. 151, 153. Man, when I get closer, it's 170. Wow, that's a good heat bulb. So that one's staying in, and it'd probably be this one as the other one, because I got laying around. I don't remember what it is. It's still warm to the touch, but the temperature is 101, 102, compared to if you guys can see that, 180, 200 degrees. Woo, doggies. Yeah, that's going to put out some heat. Okay, so that one's going to stay in. This little one looks kind of puny, coming in at 147, 148. It may heat up over time. I forgot what this one was. I was going to mark them. I'll go back and review the video. But I'm going to go ahead and just do it. I'm putting this one and that one in, and then it's going back to the pump house. Good enough for me. And just for GP, I know there's going to be somebody that wanted to see the LED, so I figured I would do it. So right now the LED is sitting at 88 degrees. We'll turn it on and see what kind of heat the LED puts out. Man, it definitely puts out brightness. Woo! But not, hopefully it doesn't put out as much heat, but we'll see. It's gonna get a lot of washout. I'm gonna have to spin this around a little bit. Get this at an angle here. So, looks like it's 90 degrees. 92. Yeah, a lot less heat compared to 178, 188, 200, 191, 182, 12, 224, 230. So that other bulb pulls out some here. You see LED still hanging, 98, 97, maybe 100 when I point it right at it. 99. Can you guys see that? It's getting 100. Hell, it's probably heating up from all the heat from the other bulb. Anyway, I'm going to put this one back on there. Okay, so left these on for a minute or so just to see. Looks like we're getting 177 from this distance, 175. And on this one, we're getting 120, 190. So out of these two up close, we're going to get 135. And up close on this one, we're going to get 154. I see something smoking. Y'all see that smoking? Something is smoking, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if this camera's picking up that smoking right in this area. I wiped it down. I wonder if it's just burning off because I wiped it down a little bit, but I'm definitely getting a little stream of smoke off there. I mean, the last thing I want is that thing to, yeah, something must be on there because it looks like it's smoking from right here. What the hell that is? You know, I use this dirty rag to wipe it, so maybe I put a little oil on it. Are y'all seeing that smoke? Let's see what this iPhone 13 does if it shows the smoke. So I just might leave that on a little bit till the smoking stops, make sure it's still, you know, because I cleaned this off too. I don't know if this would heat up more. Actually, that little sucker's heating up, man. What is the temperature on that bad boy? 104, 105 on the back side. That's kind of good. That'll give me more heating action. It looks like 95 over here, 94. Definitely gets higher as I go to the other side. I smell a little something burning, so I don't know what the hell that is, but the smoke looks like it kind of stopped. So it's going to be hung like so. I don't want this to burn out or break. Alrighty. Let me go put that in the old water pump shed. Okay, so it's back in here. The light's going this way. It will come on when it's 40. So although it's 100 in the garage, when it's 80 degrees out, it's not going to be that hot in this thing when it starts cooling off. So, but anyway, I think I'm pretty much done. Cut off those little snips. This thing is winterized, ready to go. Only thing I might do is put a little bead of caulk right across here. It looks like it's got a pretty good seal with this 2x4 on the ground flat. But just for GP, I'll lay some paper here, spray some foam on top of it, and then shut the door. And it'll mash out where it doesn't need it, and that way that'll be done. Fuse box ready for the winter. Well, in that there.